Hello everyone, this is Stacy Cohen with the Center for Soulful Presence, and today I would like to talk about making changes. You know, so often in our lives we get to the point where we believe that we want to make a change, we want to take a leap, we want to pursue our dreams. We want a different life. We want change. And I think that well-meaning life coaches and philosophers and talking about taking those big leaps of faith and just having the courage and facing the fear and doing it anyway, I think that sometimes that promotes the idea that it has to be drastic. I talk to my clients a lot about the middle path. And the middle path is neither extraordinary, neither, it's not always glamorous. It doesn't necessarily feed the ego. It's not going to give you some kind of status right away or acknowledgement. It's not showy or flashy. And yet, slow and steady does win the race. It's that persistence. It's doing one small act that gets you closer to your goal. It can be really easy to get caught up in the dreams and fantasies and vision boards and law of attraction and abundance theory. You know, it can be really sweeping and engaging and exhilarating and gets your adrenaline pumping and you think you're doing something. And I'm not saying that those things can't be useful tools. I'm saying that it's not necessarily where the change actually starts to happen. The change happens with our habits, with our day-to-day small actions that either work to construct or deconstruct what it is that we set out to do. I have spoken before about the 1 degree of change, and that's if you did one thing slightly different over time, eventually it would turn into a new path. So if you want to start doing something new, you want to change your job, find a new career, find a hobby, it may be helpful to look at what is accessible. If you don't have access to the Bahamas or Europe, you know, what can you do that's related to travel? Would you be able to volunteer with some refugees? Or do an exchange? Take on an exchange student? If you wanted to become a famous musician, would you look towards some of the local places that would be happy to have someone play some music at their establishment? If you want to get yourself into a museum or become a famous artist, you know, can you find a local coffee house or a local venue, a restaurant that would take your work for free? Making yourself accessible. There's so many options out there. We can take small bites. We can take small baby steps towards our goal. The ego just wants it to look so big, and we want to get to the outcome as soon as possible. And yet there's life lessons and there's things that we can learn in those small baby steps that are actually preparing us for the things that we want. Do you want to get to your destination and not have anything even packed in your suitcase? Of course not. You would want to have all the proper gear for that expedition in the Himalayas. So little baby steps, little small loving actions that do not have to be disruptive. You want to change your career? Find a way to slowly inch your way towards leaving. Part of the anxiety is that it's just not pragmatic for you to just go up and quit. Maybe you got bills, maybe you have debt, maybe you have a family that you have to support. But you can put together some art and hang it up on the walls of a local place if you want to. And you never know who's going to walk in that door. But you can tell your ego, hey, you're doing some things towards your goal, and it's sufficient. And you don't have to put your life in upheaval or major stress in order to do that. Because if you wind up taking that approach and doing it so extremely, what might happen is you're so tired by the time you get there that you're not even going to appreciate it. Wouldn't it be nice to be in a state of mind where you could actually savor the accomplishments? And in a way, as you work towards your goals, consider the fact that they're not happening right now, because where you are in this moment, there's something to be grateful for. I challenge those thoughts that say, but I'm not where I want, so therefore this moment is crapola. Well, guess what? Perhaps these are the moments that make that goal great. Perhaps even if you're not totally enjoying yourself, it's the contrast that you'll need to know when you actually have reached a certain point, because the contrast will be great. It'll help you to savor what it is when it actually happens. Wow, gosh. To have this time off and to be able to make my own schedule. I've been working towards that for 5 years. I'm not saying that's how long it'll take for you, but I'm just saying that could be. Maybe you needed those 5 years to prepare for the moment that you've been waiting for. So there really is no rush. There's no place to get to. Where we are right now, this is it. This is the moment. And I hear all the time, but I don't like the way things are. Perhaps it's because there's a part of you that wants it to be sweeping and extravagant and bigger than life, and you're waiting for some feeling. And maybe it's not about chasing feelings. Maybe there's some value in having passion for something, having a dream, about making a sacred commitment to a certain way of life. Right? Committing to something, believing in something, making a decision. These are what makes life special. These are what makes those moments precious. So, with that said, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I am so grateful that you have taken the time to see this video. And with that, I'll wrap up. I'm Stacy Cohen with the Center for Soulful Presence, and wishing you a blessed day.